G'day guys, welcome to Depot Adventures. My name is Hugo. I'm a tour guide here in Melbourne, Australia, and today I want to take you through the top 5 misconceptions that people overseas have about Australia and Australians. I've come across quite a few in my time, so let's get started, shall we? Number 1 is we don't walk around wearing these hats saying crikey and chucking another shrimp on the Barbie. A lot of these misconceptions come from one man in particular. This guy over here, his name is Paul Hogan. In the 1980s, he was part of a very successful TV campaign and advertisements that aired in America. And one of the lines there was he was going to put a shrimp on the Barbie. Now, for a start, that crustacean we call a prawn in Australia, and we still like to eat prawns, but it's pretty rare that you'll come to Australia and find us out and about chucking prawns or shrimps on the Barbie. So we'll get rid of this for a start. Our second misconception also, unfortunately, has to do with this man as well. Paul Hogan, this comedian entertainer, a few years earlier had done a very successful TV campaign in England, this time selling an Australian brand of beer. That brand of beer was Foster's. Now skip forward to today, and Foster's isn't even brewed in Australia, far from being the most successful or popular beer in Australia. In fact, the most drunk beer in this country is this, Victoria Bitter. You won't find a Foster's in any pub in this country. So the easiest way to spot someone not from Australia is if you walk into a pub and ask for a pint of Foster's, because the bartenders will look at you funny and say, first time, mate. Number 3 is kangaroos. Now, certainly there are a number of kangaroos in this country. In fact, there's about 50 million of them. But you're not going to see them just walking down the streets in your average Australian town or city. Most Australians, in fact, live in large cities, in large towns or suburbs. For me here in Melbourne, to see a kangaroo in the wild, I would have to travel about 45 minutes away to an area where there's lots of wilderness, where there's flat grassy plains, which is where kangaroos like to hang out. So if you are coming to this country, don't expect to see a kangaroo on the side of the road. If you are seeing a kangaroo on the side of the road, unfortunately, it's likely to be roadkill, which is where most of our tourists get their first experience of our wildlife. Ooh. Number 4 is this thing. It's a boomerang. A lot of you overseas, I say you people know them overseas, but Australians rarely throw these. In fact, the average Australian would have no idea how to throw a returning boomerang. In fact, even most Indigenous people today wouldn't even be able to throw this and have it return to them with any accuracy time and time again. It takes quite a bit of skill and practice to do so, but certainly you can find these in many souvenir shops over the country. But most likely you're going to purchase one that isn't one of these returning boomerangs. They're just made to be souvenirs. So you need to make sure you have a returning boomerang, and to go out and start practicing, you need to get the flick. That's the key to get a returning boomerang to come back to you. Our last one is on the topic of wildlife again, and it is the misconception that Australia is a dangerous place because of all our dangerous animals. Sharks, spiders, and snakes. It's true that we do have some venomous species of spiders and snakes, but the number of deaths is only a handful a year, and injuries not much more than that. In fact, you're more likely to get injured by a horse in this country than you are by any of those 3 previous animals. So this is a very safe country, and that includes, for the most part, our animals. I hope that clears up some misconceptions you might have had about Australia. We are an amazing place to come and visit, and we would hope to see you here soon. And if not, you can keep watching these videos. Depot Adventures will be uploading more and more of this content, so please hit subscribe and share this video to your friends and family, and we'll see you next time here at Depot. See you later.